Torch reviews. Here we go. High West Bourye.
What was the pause for? He was just like,
You're just going to cut it out anyway. You just bleed it in whenever you want.
I don't edit shit. I just throw up the fucking intro and I'm like,
sure
boom, done.
I'm sure that's not how you do it.
I legitimately,
All right.
90% of these, I'm just like, it's a good ending. No, who cares?
Well, you're going to have to do it on this one.
No, I'm going to leave it in.
And they're not going to know.
You're just going to be like, why didn't I start? What was I doing?
All right. High West Bourye. So it's a mix of bourbon and rye.
Wait, blue rye?
Bourye. Like bourbon, boo. Rye.
B-O-O?
B-O-U-R-Y-E.
Why do they call it that?
Because it's a mix between bourbon and rye. It's the first three letters of bourbon.
That's it?
That's it.
Just read the bottle.
It's a mix of bourbon and rye.
I can't read the bottle because I'm distracted by the picture. You can't read any of the words on that.
This label is fantastic.
Yeah, there's no...
So, Utah only release. No joke. Drove my happy ass to Utah to buy these bottles.
Can confirm.
How long did it take you?
To get there, about 8.5 hours.
Were you on the other side of Utah?
Middle.
Okay.
I went to Salt Lake City. Because it's all state stores. There's no stores until you get past the Salt Flats.
Fair.
And then, all right, so here's what happened, right? So I went on a Saturday. State stores are closed on Sunday.
Yep.
State stores also, I think there were a couple that were open until 10, but you can't see it on their website. On their website, it says they're all open until 7. And I lose an hour going to Utah from here. So I needed time to make sure I could get to 3 or 4 stores in case they didn't have it. So I didn't stop. There's a town, Tool or something.
Yeah.
Legitimately Tool, I think. That's like 30 minutes short of Salt Lake City. And there's a couple state stores there. But I didn't want to stop and waste time because there's like 5 state stores in Salt Lake City that you can get to all within about 5 or 6 minutes. So I'm like, that's my best bet. Get into Salt Lake City, go to the first store, and they don't have it, just start circling out to the stores that I can get to really quick.
Why didn't you just call the store?
I was already on the road.
Okay.
I just didn't, I mean,
Fair enough.
I was already on the way, so why call them?
Well, the state stores before Utah.
But, I mean, conveniently, like, you could be pretty sure that they're going to have it. I wasn't sure how accurate their system is, but you can just go online, and all the inventory for all the state stores is online.
That's pretty cool.
But they could have.
That is kind of cool,
faster.
actually.
Yeah, that's a fancy...
Well, they
That
still
should be
have,
everywhere.
so this is the thing, they still have like 1,400 bottles of this in their system, which is why I want to go back and buy more. Because I really like it. I've already had some, obviously.
I mean, the smell on it is
Dude, everything about
phenomenal.
it. Yeah. It's.
Oh, yeah, this is...
I mean, there's definitely rye in it, but it's like this candied sort of rye. It's just so good. I really like this one.
How much
so
is the
this
bottle
year,
there?
$125. Ooh. It's steep.
That's...
But there's also a bunch
Crazy.
of really old stock, supposedly, in this blend, which there wasn't last year. Because last year it was like $75. Also not a Utah-only release last year. Anyway, so you guys have smelled it. Have you tasted it yet?
Not yet.
It's just... I mean, the rice spice is obvious, right? Like, it's there.
Just judging off the swirl
But it's just like sweet, candied rye.
as it runs down, it seems a little bit thicker.
It is... I don't think you're going to have a problem with the viscosity.
But that's what I'm saying. The viscosity seems a little bit thicker
Yeah.
than even their other ones.
No, it is... I just like that so much. I mean, we're going to have to give it some points, but... So what do you guys pick? What do you guys get out of this? What do you like? What don't you like? I think even Casey's enjoying it.
I like this. I like this stuff. You know what I get? It's like a... I don't know. It's like cooking spices, maybe?
Baking spices?
Or what's the difference?
Same thing.
Okay. Then yeah, like maybe like a little collection of spices, like cooking spices,
Yeah, but they're
on top of that rye.
they're not that prevalent. I mean, it's not overpowering, is what I mean.
No, it's not. It's just it's like
It's like a subtle baking spice in there.
yeah, it's baking spice on top of that rye, and then a little bit of sweetness,
Yeah.
like cooking spices and sugar.
Like a slight carameliness.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, or butterscotch.
Butterscotch. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it's butterscotch.
There is some butterscotch in there, I think.
Maybe that's, I thought it was buttered
When you said buttered pecan,
buttered
earlier,
pecan. I think it was
Yeah.
butterscotch is what I was thinking.
yeah,
Because they're pretty close, right? Kind of.
ish.
Yeah.
I don't get the sweet notes off buttered pecan, unless you're talking about like a pecan pie or pecan ice cream or something.
Pecan ice cream, I think, is what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But now that now I smell it again, I'm like, that's butterscotch. That's what it is. Yeah, butterscotch, cooking spice.
you get any fruit?
No, I don't notice any fruit. Should I? Is that one of the?
I don't know. I honestly didn't look up the notes.
Oh, okay.
No, I honestly, like, I'm so delinquent for this and for the podcast later. I've been occupied with other crap. I definitely did a disservice to our little show.
Well, I mean, I had to put it off a day.
Yeah. So I had a meeting with the guy about the other shop for like the sixth time. Because again, nailing Jello to a wall. And then for that education website, programmers, content creators, just a lot of others, extraneous stuff. And in the middle of it, I drove to Utah.
And in the middle, you're a crazy man. Drove to Utah. Although I appreciate you driving to Utah because it's delicious.
Is this?
I think there's a little bit of fruit in there.
Is there
Really?
like
Yeah.
a slight orange peel smell?
Is that what you're getting?
A little bit of citrus.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of citrus in there.
Yeah, it reminds me of like an orange peel.
Honestly, it's like a rye orange marmalade.
I've
It's
never
like
had marmalade.
like orange marmalade on heavily buttered rye toast.
I've never had marmalade.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more sour. Like if you've had like the orange preserves, in the little like plastic thing
Yeah.
you get. So it's a little bit more sour. Like the orange it jumps out at you, and it's a little bit stingy, relative to like a tradition, like a sweeter orange jelly.
Okay.
I just really like this. Are you guys starting to give it scores?
I am.
All right, let's do the viscosity. The only thing I think it might be a little lacking on the finish isn't exceptional. It's good, but not amazing. We're going to call it.
So how do you identify the finish? I've been wondering that.
Just notice, like, all right, so start with how long it lasts, right? After you drink it. And then once you figure out how long it lasts, what lasts? Is it the sweetness? Is it the spice? Does it change a little bit? Like, does it evolve after you drink it? Or does it just sort of fade away? Like, do the flavors that present on the palate stay the same and just sort of fade away after you drink it? Which is what I would say this one does.
It does, yeah. Once it
I can see that, yeah.
hits, it's just like,
It just hangs out for a couple seconds
and then it's gone.
and it just sort of
dissipates.
disappears,
Like,
right?
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Which is probably a proof issue. It's actually pretty low proof.
Was it like 80 proof?
Oh, it's like 92.
Oh, okay,
Hold on a second.
92.
It is 92 exactly.
Oh, wow.
Not exactly, because I think they're allowed to miss on proof by something. But on the bottle, it's 92 exactly.
Well, it's good. I really enjoy this stuff.
It's really good. I enjoy it as well.
Yeah. Like, it's not quite. Remember that the Maker's Mark cask? I said it's, you want to drink it when it's snowing outside?
Yes.
This isn't quite that.
This is a fall one.
But it definitely feels like it comes, like, this should show up on your bar about the same time that people are talking about pumpkin spice lattes.
yes, yeah, this is a fall drink.
Right?
Leaves be changing. And it's like, I'm going to sit on the porch, maybe wearing a sweater,
Yeah.
and I'm going to sip on this while the wind breeze goes by.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
Yeah.
0.
If you're Kevin, you're going to play the banjo while you.
Wait,
Not that banjo.
that's
Oh,
a 2.
which one?
Different kind of banjo.
You said I was playing a banjo. I go automatically to that.
All right. I got a score.
That's fair. Didn't you pick up your wife at a family reunion?
Holy shit.
Nah, it was one of them family get-togethers though, for sure. My grandfather
Casey
tried
is
to get me with
really
that.
proud of himself for that.
My grandfather tried to get me with that. It's like,
my-
oh, we have fish in our family. Don't you say that to me.
Oh my god. All right.
I'm so proud
So
of that.
before we give the scores, just your initial impression. Who are you recommending this to?
I'd recommend it basically to anybody, but at the same time, like, it's kind of too good to just recommend to everybody, especially if they don't have a palate for it.
I would say this: if they don't like rye,
This does
Yeah.
need to be like
they're not going to like this.
palate specific. Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
just give this to anybody.
But if they're trying to like rye, this is probably a really good place to start.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's tough for me. Because it's so hard to get. Adds a little factor to me.
and that's where I was adding in that factor.
Like,
This is the thing, though, is that if you're in Utah, it's still plentiful. There's a ton of it.
That is true.
Yeah,
but you
but-
have to be in Utah.
that's
Yeah.
in Utah, and you can't bring this stuff back across the border, right?
Says who?
Can you? Can you transport booze across the border?
I think you're limited to a certain number. It's like 2 bottles or 3 bottles officially.
Man, sucks you only got one bottle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's.
I did not only get 1 bottle.
That's about 10 more I can put on the car there.
I would definitely, if I find myself back that way, I will definitely pick up some more of this in the next. I think it's going to be I think we've probably got, because I had to watch it, because I had to find a window to actually make it out to Utah. So I watched it for like 2 weeks in the system, and that, like, given the depletion rate over when I was watching it, I think it's probably going to be in the state for another at least 6 weeks, maybe 8.
So at least a month to 2, month and a half.
I think
too.
almost 2 months. I think at a month and a half, you're safe. You're safe. At 2 months, you're starting to play with fire a little bit.
Well, it's a good thing you're going to take a photo trip in September and conveniently drive that way out there for a couple of days. And
No, I mean, I just think this is great. This stuff is good.
yeah, this stuff's
It's just
fantastic.
really good.
Yeah, I scored it high.
All right, let's hear your guys' scores.
I thought I scored it high.
I mean, overall it's an 85.
Okay,
I went on the nose. I gave it a 17 out of 20.
so did I.
And I did.
On the palate, I gave it a 45.
I gave it a 44.
On the viscosity, I gave it a 10.
So did I.
And then on finish, I gave it a 13 because I like the finish because it's quick and
See,
Quick-
there,
quick
and I
and
want a
easy.
little bit longer finish, so I gave it a 9.
okay.
That's where it lost points for me.
I got you.
But I've also found, like, breaking down this into specific categories, my points are coming out lower than they were before.
Okay.
But I would still call this is exceptional whiskey.
Like I said,
regardless.
85 for me. So
Yeah, I got an 80.
I got an 83
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
because I got a 17 on the nose, 44 on the palate. Viscosity, I gave it a 13. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 9 on the finish though.
Yeah. What I would say about this is I would recommend it to anybody, and if they don't like it, they need to understand that that's their palate thing
Yeah.
and not that it's a bad whiskey.
Right.
I think it's an exceptional whiskey.
Right.
And it's listen, there's plenty of exceptional wines that I don't like, right? But it's not that they're bad wines. It's that they just don't fit my palate.
Yeah.
I think that would be the case with this. Because I don't think you can call that bad.
So do you like Rye's more then?
No, but I like rye.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I like it more. I like a well done rye as much as I like a well done bourbon.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I would say I would drink a below average bourbon before I would drink a below average rye. At the bottom end, I'm definitely leaning one way over the other.
Okay.
Fair enough. And I don't see you even touching that low end rye.
No, I mean, I don't. If I'm drinking low end stuff, it's probably beer or like something I'm mixing into a cocktail.
Fair enough.
I mean, we've got enough access at this point. Like, why drink bad stuff?
That is
Yes.
Unless it's just
Very
as a
true.
flight, like you're being hyperbolic and you're like, this is terrible. Or you're measuring like, what's the best value bourbon that you can buy for $22 or whatever. Like, that's a fair exercise. And some of those aren't going to be good, but you do it because it's part of the practice. But if you're just drinking at home,
true. Why not drink the good
unless
stuff?
you're going
Drink the
through
good stuff.
unless you're going through a bottle every 2 or 3 days, I know,
Hey, you guys.
but I don't. So it doesn't bother me to buy
One of these three is
Better
an
whiskey.
alcoholic. One
Yeah.
of these
No.
three is an alcoholic.
We've gone over this.
One of these three
I was
is
in
an
the army.
alcoholic.
There's an excuse there.
And it's this
There
guy
was
right
an
there.
excuse there.
I was in the army.
Yes, but what's your excuse now?
Army blames
Wife
him.
and kids.
That's fair.
Yeah,
All right.
like-
Actually, I have a lot more kids now too.
All right. Anything you want to say before we let these people go?
100%. I would recommend this.
Oh, yeah. 100% would recommend it.
yeah.
Definitely.
Understand what it is when you drink it, but 100% give it a shot. If you come across this somewhere, try it, buy it. Like, this isn't one of the $125 bottles that afterwards you're going to be like, why the crap did I buy that?
Hey, and if you don't like it, send it to us.
Right? I'll take it. I will take it.
We'll take it off your hands at a deal of a discount.
We're going to put this up against some ryes in a couple weeks in an actual flight and see what happens.
Oh, that should be
We'll
fun.
put it up against like that. I think we'll probably put it up against like the Sagamore 8-year because it's got some old stock, so it's fair. Maybe I've got a bottle, like we can put some younger stuff in there. I've got a bottle of that Blue Run Emerald Rye still floating around.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put it up against some stuff and see what happens.
I think this was going to stand out.
All right. You guys good?
Definitely.
Thanks for watching another Torch review.